Inside the poker room at Caesars Palace, Las Vegas, tension and excitement is in the air as 16 of the world's elite card players compete for a title and a $500,000 prize. Pressure is mounting in the round of 16 because at the National Heads Up Poker Championship, there are no second chances.
But to beat Josh Arieh, you have to pick up cards.
Yeah, we've got a little history.
When you get in the zone, you feel, you can do some damage.
Exactly the type of player I don't want to play against.
Amir is a very dangerous player. He's a guy who is known to play any two cards.
Whatever I know about the game, I fold him. He knows maybe 5 times. 5 times more.
In the round of 16, you're either in or you're out.
You're taking my money, you better watch your step. Now when I come to play, you can be sure that I don't mess around. Now if you still think that you got the luck, come on, bring it on, heads up. If you think you can beat me one-on-one, come on, bring it on, heads up.
From Caesars Palace, Las Vegas, the home of champions, welcome to the 2006 National Heads Up Poker Championship presented by Outback Steakhouse. Matt Vasgersian alongside Gabe Kaplan. 4 tables in play in the round of 16 in this single elimination Heads Up tournament. And at our featured table, last year's runner-up Chris Ferguson takes on Josh Arieh.
These guys are starting to look like NASCAR drivers with all their logos. Wow, look at this. Chris has picked up a pair of kings, and he's going to raise it here to 2,400.
Arieh with a suited 10-5.
Josh has those wraparound glasses that you cannot see any part of his eye. There's no portion of his eye that's visible.
See very little of his head with those glasses.
Next thing, these guys are going to put on those Darth Vader helmets.
Arieh calls.
He calls with a 10-5 of hearts. Josh is not going to get pushed around in this match. I guess that's his strategy.
Flop is 9 and a pair of 8s.
Looks like Josh is going to come out and bet here. He's got absolutely nothing.
Josh is going to bet right out.
And he bets 4,300.
He's hoping that Chris has ace-king, ace-queen, and he'll throw it away. He's trying to run over him. Instead, he's run into him and his pair of kings.
And a quick call for Ferguson. Quick by his standards, as Gabe has talked about many times. Chris plays every raise, every decision with the same period of time. The turn's a jack of spades.
Right, now Chris was a little afraid that Josh might have had an 8 there. Now Josh has actually picked up something that jack gives him an open-end straight draw. He would make a straight with a 7 or a queen.
Josh bets it out again.
And he bets 9,000 on that open-ended straight draw.
And Chris is saying, what is going on in this hand? What does this man have? I have a pair of kings. I'm supposed to win this hand. But I'm not going out. I'm calling.
9,000.
Ferguson hoping or perhaps knowing that Josh doesn't have that third 8. And the river's at 3 of hearts.
Let's see what Josh Arieh is going to do here. He has absolutely nothing. 10 high, but he's got, as they say, a lot of his children in there. And he's not giving up.
Josh bets out 16,000.
He bets 16,000.
Josh is going all the way. I believe he's going to get called. Chris Ferguson, incidentally, went to a lot of garage sales at Johnny Cash's house.
I didn't know Johnny Cash had a poker endorsement.
Well, Josh is the one that's walking the line here. He's getting called. Josh started out on a mission in this hand. It's not going to work. He throws over the 10-5 like he's got something. Chris shows him the kings. And the first big decision is going to Chris Ferguson. Josh has put himself at a big disadvantage here. Chris Ferguson now has over a 2-1 chip lead.
So one hand down in the round of 16, and there have been some surprises, Gabe. Nobody, however, has been surprised with the outstanding level of play from Chris Ferguson.
Chris Ferguson is fast becoming the talk of this tournament. He's proven that last year's second-place finish was no fluke. So far this year, he's beat Fast Freddie Deeb, a well-respected no-limit hold'em specialist, and Chip Reese, who most people regard as the best cash game player in the world.
His opponent in this match, Josh Aryeh, however, has also been really hot in the tournament.
Josh demolished his first two opponents in less than 30 minutes each. Josh and Chris got heads up in a tournament at the World Series of Poker last year, and Josh came out with the bracelet.
Okay, so having said all this, who do you like in the match?
Chris Ferguson, I would say, would be a slight favorite, but Josh Aryeh's aggressive style could win out.
Taking a look at the tournament field, the round of 16 matchups in the clubs bracket, David Chestnut versus James McManus, Josh Aryeh and Chris Ferguson. In the spades bracket, Huck Seed is pitted against Scott Fishman, and Amir Vahidi takes on Barry Greenstein. 4 tables in play simultaneously in this bracket-style single elimination heads-up competition. We now take you back to the featured table, where you get a look at Chris Ferguson. And after his runner-up finished last year and his 2 wins in this year's tournament, Chris Ferguson is the winningest player in National Heads-Up Championship history, 7 career victories.
And let's see if Josh Aryeh calms down a little bit from trying to run that bluff in the first hand. He's got a 10-6 offsuit here, and he's not stopping. He raises to 4,000 with actually a worse hand than he had last time.
Chris Ferguson via the Outback Pocket Cam with an offsuit King 5, and he calls the additional 2,400.
Yeah, he has no idea what Josh has, but he's just going to gamble here and call with his King 5 offsuit, and he flops a pair of kings.
Flop is King Deuce Deuce.
And Chris Ferguson has got kings again. And Josh Aryeh has the lead again, and Chris Ferguson checks. And Josh Aryeh looks like he's going to try and steal this spot too. Where's Bill Murray? Is this Groundhog Day?
Aryeh bets 7,000. He's got the support of his agent, Brian Balsbaugh, on the left, and friend Eric Lindgren.
I thought it was Beavis and Butthead.
Groundhog Day indeed. Ferguson calls. Turns a 9 of hearts. Chris's girlfriend there, Fabiola, in the center of your screen.
Fabiola, huh? Maybe she'll get a margarine commercial.
Looks like this time Chris Ferguson's going to bet out.
If he knew what Josh Aryeh had, he wouldn't bet. He'd let Josh hang himself again. Josh has to throw his hand away. Chris bet because he wasn't supremely confident with kings and no kicker. Wanted to see where he was at.
Coming up, another premier showdown from the round of 16. Huck Seed, the 1996 main event.